public meeting. I'm calling it to order at 6:15. Do we have a quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we do, so we can have a meeting. Okay. Antonio is not here to do attendance, so I'll do it. 60:01.
Present.
2,
Here.
3,
Present.
4,
Here.
5 here, 6 and 7 not here. Okay. If you have had a moment, commissioners, to take a look at the agenda, would you please let me know if there are any changes or additions, deletions?
Madam Chair, there are 3 ABC license renewals that have just come to our attention that have response dates prior to our next meeting.
Okay.
They are La Jambe, The Passenger, Philos Meze and Wine Bar, and Hampton Inn.
Okay. Anybody else have changes to the agenda? Okay, with that, would the commissioners approve, would you approve the agenda, please? All in favor?
I'll make a motion that
Oh,
we
okay.
approve the agenda as amended.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That is 5 in support of that. Can we get approval of the minutes from somebody?
I move approval of the November meeting minutes with any...
October minutes.
Oops, I'm in a hurry. October meeting minutes with any corrections to be submitted to Ms. Gamble.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, police report, 1D. Somebody here from 1D?
We're both 5.
Both 5.
Both
All
5.
right.
I can
both
give you a little
5.
bit on one.
No, that's okay, they're not here, they're not here. Why don't you fill us in on 5?
So remember, it's just the two blocks by Dunbar High School.
Yeah, who I had, so. This is actually for the past 7 days, and in the area, those 2 blocks by Dunbar, we haven't had a robbery at all. Let me see our ADW here. Our ADW was also not in that area, which is a good thing. Also in the past 7 days in 501 as a whole, we haven't had a robbery, which is a great thing, seeing that yesterday was Halloween, which is a big robbery day. And on the evening shift, we didn't have any robberies in 5D as a whole yesterday. Thank goodness. No sounds of gunshots in that area for the past 7. Let's look at here.
I think that's about it.
No burglaries?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking just to make sure, but
I do want to give a quick reminder to everyone to also remind your neighbors and friends, the holiday season is on us. You got packages being delivered for Amazon or whatever other delivery service. Please see if you can have those packages sent to the FedEx by the XM building or to another location as a holding place until you get off work. In other areas of 5D, we've had guys just, on their own little patrol looking for unattended packages while people are away at work, and they swipe them up. We've locked up 2 people that were caught on camera by someone who had a surveillance camera at their home. One guy was dressed in a DPW uniform. He put that on and went up and grabbed someone's package and walked off with it. Not that it mattered, because it was during the day and there was no one there to see him do it. We just do it after the fact. So, remind yourselves, remind your neighbors, you got stuff being delivered, you're not going to be home to get it. See if you can make arrangements so that you can get it later so somebody else doesn't get it.
So I have a question. So we've had an ongoing problem with 1229 New Jersey Avenue, which is on the 501 side.
Sorry.
So it is a Department of Housing property, and so the director is involved. But my question is, because we have vagrants there, should my constituents and myself call the police or call the housing authority?
DCRs.
No, but for like, there's random people all the time in the stairwell, because the housing authority has their own security forces, right? So that's should we call you
This
guys
is the thing though,
first?
so just call us out, because
Okay.
housing authority is pretty sparse, like, it's not as many of them, and a lot of them are usually assigned to actual housing projects. So by the time they do get out, we'll actually get around to come in first. So, just call us, we'll see who lives there, who doesn't live there, who's actually visiting someone and who's just there because.
It's abandoned, so
opportunity, yeah.
they own it. And so they have yet to secure it, and it's unfortunate. And now it's just kind of ramping up.
So it's just wide open?
winter. Well, no, it's the back stairwell and the front stairwell. And for now, they don't seem to be inside, but it wouldn't, it's gonna get cold.
And that was
Okay, so-
1229, right?
1229 New
So
Jersey.
we have an officer, Small, he's pretty good with DCRA getting properties boarded up and whatnot, so we'll get with him.
Look, the neighbor's here.
I just wanted to say, today they did come by.
Did they?
And they secured the back. So they put like a metal fence across the back, and then they put a lock on the back gate, but they didn't do anything with the front where you saw
Yeah.
someone going in. So I'm not sure exactly why they didn't do the front, but they did secure the back.
Okay, in the meantime, if you see something, call us.
So call the police, don't bother with the housing source security.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1229 New Jersey, Charles knows about it, he was in a tweet with Director Todman.
And just to kind of piggyback on what my partner here was saying, in reference to the package thefts that are about to get a lot worse as the holidays come into play, I believe that DC government gives back some form of rebate if you get a camera, on your residence. They do have like a rebate program. I'm pretty sure guys up here know way more about it than I do. But it sounds like a great deal, especially if it's, helping us and actually catching these guys and getting them off the streets.
Yeah, but that's a limited pot, the rebate program, so they only have so much money, so it's kind of like first come, first served. So if you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Thank you
Anyone
so
else?
much.
No
problem at all.
Appreciate your coming.
Yep.
Oh wait, I have
problem.
one last thing, there was never a final update about the gun battle on the
On New York Avenue?
Yeah.
There was an arrest. I don't know the update with it. I know that we have one person that's been arrested for that. And, wait, are we talking about?
The gun battle where there's 30 shell casings.
The 20?
That's where the
Missouri
storefronts
shot-
got shot up.
Yeah, that's where the store shot, and then,
You know, I don't have the information for that. I didn't,
okay, I'll check with the
1D,
commander.
5D
Yeah.
thing.
No, it was another one.
Oh,
This is all 1D,
Oh.
I mean, it's all 5D, I'm sorry. all of
Sorry, I
it.
got nothing.
All right.
So one question for you. I know that in 3D, we've been experiencing a rather significant level of theft from autos. And I'm curious as to whether or not that's also the case in 5D.
Not that I know of. It's
Not
actually
as-
right here in my hand, though.
Not as bad as 3D, and I can tell you as a 3D officer, for about 13 years, I did auto theft in 3D. And the reason why that problem went down is because we had resources to address that issue, but there's no more vice. We were under vice. So auto theft is gone. That's all I can tell you.
So as a reminder to everyone, hopefully everyone here knows that you should not leave any items of value visible in your car when you
Please.
park on the street. But also be sure to remind your contractors, your visitors, your out-of-town guests, your holiday party guests, that they should likewise be very careful about that, because on my block alone, there have been 3 such break-ins in the past about 2 weeks, because people are sloppy about that. And you may not think that what you're leaving out there is valuable, but to someone else, it's enough to motivate them to break your window and snatch it.
So if you see somebody like casing like your neighborhood, or somebody that's foreign to your neighborhood, and not just like walking through, but you consistently seeing like, oh, I just saw him an hour ago and he's still like walking around, feel free to call us and let us know, hey, it's a suspicious person in the block, We'll have enough to at least, just speak. Just, sometimes this can scare a person off enough just to say, hey, hello, how are you? And they're like, oh, let me get out of here. It's cops over here.
I've also gotten reports of people checking to see if any doors are open on cars. So, if you see that, I would say just go ahead and call
Yeah, call.
911 right away.
How
Yeah.
often does the police department actually check the police cameras?
So it's
What
crime
kind of
cameras?
cameras?
Talking about the crime cameras on the,
Yes.
so those cameras are, they're an automatic turn. So if something happens and it's in the location where that camera is recording, then they'll put in a request to look at the footage.
Yeah, I put a request in,
You did?
I did.
To look at footage?
Well, not for me to look at footage, but for the department to look at footage.
Oh, okay.
And I was told that the footage wasn't,
Wasn't valued, wasn't of any value? That means that whatever happened, the camera was panned in the other direction, or simply just didn't catch it, or the camera wasn't working. They do great. So,
I know crime in 1D has gone down, but I will remind everyone, whether you park your car in a garage or on the street, please lock your doors. We have had a couple in my single-member district where people have gotten into the garage and they go around and look for open doors and vagrants are sleeping in cars. So please make sure that you lock your vehicle. It's really important, really important. And if you're walking down the street with that phone in your hand and you're doing this, some teenagers or some other folks are gonna come and they're just gonna take that phone right away from you and run. That is the biggest 1D crime that we have, is people don't pay attention. And the kids all know it and they grab these phones and off they go. So please, 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 be aware of your surroundings. Know that that can happen. K Street is one of those places where it happens a lot, a lot.
that'd be a good time, that's when we get better news, like December, that's a thing.
Right, for holiday
For
season,
holiday season.
yeah. Okay, thank you, ladies and
All right.
gentlemen.
No problem at all.
Thanks for
coming. Thank you
Guys,
for
have a
coming
good
out.
night.
Mayor's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Edward Dobson. See a few familiar faces in here. Sad to announce that my last day in the mayor's office will be tomorrow, but I am introducing the new Ward 6 Smokers. It's been an honor and pleasure to serve in this community with Alex, to work with Frank Wiggins, and Mrs. Twitter over there, who sent me a million
Ms.
tweets.
Twitter.
Nobody can respond to my last tweet, you're gone.
But it's been a pleasure working in the Shaw community, just seeing the development and what Shaw has turned into in history, and going to the ribbon cutting, the smoking stack, and things like that. So I'll introduce you all to Kelly and Tanisha, who were already a part of the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs, so they're familiar with the outreach and things like that. But I'll have them all introduce themselves. And these are your new Ward 6 Smokers.
Yeah, nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Jong. I just started like 2 weeks ago. So I just replaced Rachel Merriman, who was another movers. Previously I was serving at the Mayor's Office of Asian Affairs, but now I'm transitioning to movers, Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. So I'm looking forward to working with every one of you, and if you have any issues or questions, and our job is to connect you to the right person, the right agency. So feel free to reach out to us. So I can give you my contact information, but you can also Google our website, Mayor's Office of Community Relations Services, and you will get all our information. So it's so easy. And also we do have our Mayor's Weekly newsletter. So we brought some copies. So feel free to grab some. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tanisha Owens. I'm a 4th generation Washingtonian. I'm transitioning from the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs, where I'm the Community Outreach and Relations Specialist there, and I'll be the new Ward 6 Smoker. I'm excited to work with everyone in Ward 6, and just like Kelly said, we're here to help you guys, and eager to learn about the ward, eager to learn about the issues, and just ready to help you serve.
Mayor's Office.
Community Relations and Services.
Or I can just give you the address, mocrs.dc.gov. Thank you.
Anybody who wants to reach Kelly, I have her information. She's been working with me on a couple of parks, and so we kind of know each other.
And Alex.
And as well as many others. But y'all have my contact information, so you can at least get in touch with these guys. We have some information, phone numbers, websites, all that stuff. So
Twitter handle?
Our workers,
The DC movers.
No, your individual put it in.
Oh,
No, I don't have to.
Oh, you don't have one?
I have
I was
Kelly
gonna
John.
tag you.
I'll give you later.
She's gonna send you 20 tweets tonight.
You know that our tweet.
No, there'd be pictures attached and all sorts of stuff.
Y'all have business cards?
Yes, I do.
Kelly doesn't yet, but I'll send you the stuff. I'll send you hers, so you can take a picture if you have it. Okey doke, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're the best group you have to work with in Ward 6. We'd like to think we are. And we're sorry that you're leaving us. We'll miss you.
I'm a Ward 6 resident, so I know who to call.
Oh, you're right now, you got it.
Thank you for your service, Edward.
Thank you
Thank you, I
so much for your service. Okay, this evening, City Vista Partners, are you all here? Vista?
Capital Vista?
I'm sorry, Capital Vista.
Yep.
Sorry, I get that all screwed
No
up.
worries.
So if you guys would like to come on up and give us the words. We also have someone representing the mayor's office for planning and economic development, Mark. So if there's a question that cannot be answered by these folks, the mayor's office is here to take over the slack.
Great. I will create a lot of slack for you. That seems easiest. So with Capital Vista Community Partners, I've also presented to you as Voltron Community Partners, which is a much more fun name. But it's a group of developers, Dante's Partners, Spectrum Management, the Minkiti Group, and Bailey Real Estate Holdings. And we were selected by the Deputy Mayor's Office for Planning and Economic Development through a competitive solicitation process to develop the empty parking lot right now. It's between 2nd, H, and New Jersey Avenue Northwest. So it's a triangular parking lot. There's a park above it that the National Park Service owns. And what we proposed and have presented to this ANC, this is now our 5th time, is 100 units of luxury workforce housing. And you've seen us, we've been around the block. We presented as recently as September of last year. It's 100 units of luxury workforce housing with retail on the ground floor, about 3,500 square feet. And because this is city land that has been being developed by us, it has to go through a council disposition process where they officially turn over the land. And that hearing is set for November 29th. So in advance of that hearing, we would like a letter of support from you all saying that you'd like to see this project move forward, you'd like to see the vacant lot activated, and you're supporting this development.
Okay, just take a minute, because I don't remember age is shown. I don't remember, this was part of the 2 parcels and it was split? Is that right? And you're on one parcel and the other one is the parking structure?
No.
Yeah, no, it was, it's a standalone parcel at the corner of 2nd and H. The parking deck is separate.
Now it is, but originally this,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, so previously, I think when it was an RFEI, they were combined, but we split them off during the RFP process.
Okay, cool. And what is a luxury workforce apartment?
Sure. So it is housing, that's the term that we use, but generally speaking, what it is it's housing for people in the workforce, so at 60% AMI, and that's to give an explanation of people who hold jobs with that, because sometimes HUD speaking is a little boring, it doesn't really mean anything. Those are salaries typically held by public school teachers, by firefighters, by paralegals are also people at sort of at that income level. So it's definitely for the workforce of DC and for the people who make our neighborhoods rich and hold a number of different jobs, but wouldn't be able to afford the market rents that are coming online and the 3,000 other units nearby that are in the pipeline, where starting rents are upwards of $1,700 for a studio. That's just out of reach for most people. So, and the luxury term of that is that we, as a firm at Dante's Partners, I can at least speak for that part of the group, believes that you shouldn't be able to know that it's affordable housing when you walk by it, or that it's workforce housing when you walk by it, or that it's market rate housing when you walk by it. The finished standards and the feel of the apartment should be the same dignified living environment for everyone. So in our other workforce buildings, we have, marble countertop finishes, we have stainless steel appliances or black appliances that like look nice and modern. So that is just sort of to say the level of respect with which we treat this housing product.
And just one more remind me of, what's the parking?
So there is no parking on the site. So, and this is, I'll explain part of why. So it's a narrow triangular parcel, and if you drive by the site, it looks small, but actually the area that is the lot itself is about a third of the parking lot that you see now, because there's a really wide right-of-way for New Jersey Avenue. So it's actually literally physically impossible to dig below grade and have space for a ramp. Like, you couldn't even get one space in that building footprint. So it will be slab on grade, which means we'll start the building on the surface of ground and go upward.
I'm usually the one that says, I don't care if there's no parking, and in my, I don't really, because I think people are, less and less people have cars and more people use public transportation. Do I have any comments from my friends on the commission? Because y'all always have something to say about parking.
The residents of the property will be precluded from applying for residential parking permits.
Is that a question? We have yet to
That is
discuss
a question.
this. So we haven't talked about it yet, so that is certainly something that we can consider. Absolutely.
We can put that in our letter.
Okay.
Will there be bike rooms?
There will be a space, yeah, for bike storage.
How many spaces for bike storage?
Sure, so the space that is the residential sort of community space on the ground floor is about 8,000 square feet, so we're still programming it out in terms of figuring out what's a fitness room and what's a lobby and things like that, because we're really early in the design stages. But if there's a preference for a certain amount of bike parking based on the 100 units that it'll be, please also.
Well, that's my thought process. If there's no parking, a lot of people who move to the city now don't have cars, and they do bike. So if you're not gonna have parking for cars, we would have, I think, to have a bike room for the bikers who most likely will be moving to that property. I
Right.
think it'd be advantageous to the city to have ample bike parking spaces.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, it is 2.5 blocks away, maybe 2, from Union Station, so it's pretty close to the metro as well.
My understanding is that you're proposing some public art for a prominent portion of the public space on the site.
So, like I said earlier, there's the really large right-of-way along New Jersey Avenue, and we think between H Street and New Jersey Avenue, those are major thoroughfares for the city. And we want it to have a sense of destination and a feeling, and so one of our proposals was sort of a light art sculpture at that intersection, so it would be adjacent to the property, but in public space,
That you will own?
that we will maintain.
It will be city space.
Right, correct. So like a sidewalk is or most plazas, but there's 20 feet from the New Jersey Avenue to where the property line begins, whereas a normal sidewalk, a wide one, would be 8 feet. So you have all that additional space, so we're proposing to activate it with public art.
Is the community going to have some input as to the pieces that are chosen, since you all are the ones that are up now?
Yes, so absolutely, they'll be a part of that. Also, this is the first step in our process, is the disposition of land hearing. But then there will be a PUD hearing, and that will get a lot more into the weeds on the different levels of community support and community input, and have a planning process. So at that point is when the community will really get to sort of weigh in and tear it apart on that specific piece of the overall plan.
Question for you. You may not have thought about this, but for the sake of conversation, I know you said there's no parking, but any thought, I know there's gotta be spaces for trash removals or dump trucks gotta come in to service the property. Has any thought been given to Zipcar? I'm not promoting Zipcar, but that type of thought process where people who live in the building have access to a car like Zipcar, renting spaces so that building can be serviced if somebody needs to do whatever with the car.
Yeah, we've begun to think about car sharing services like Zipcar or Car2Go. We're in the really early stages. We had our initial meeting with the Department of Transportation to talk about exactly what you're talking about with the dump truck and how trash would be removed for the building, or for the retail space on the ground floor, how deliveries will occur. They have actually determined at this point in a very early level conversation that they think because the site is so small and also surrounded by such major thoroughfares between New Jersey and H, and then 2nd Street, although it's slightly less traveled, is still, you know, a major exit point if you're coming off of 395 or the New York Ave region, you're just trying to get out of there. So they've said that they don't, this is really in the weeds, but DDOT is not interested in having a truck have to pull in and then back out or back out on such busy corridors. So they're suggesting sort of parking on the side along 2nd Street. So rather than having a truck pull into the building and back out, because again, it's a very narrow spot.
I'm just curious, you qualify to have DC trash removal? The rest of our community does not.
No.
You don't have to have a private home.
It will be private.
Yeah, because it's a residential building of more than 40 units, it has to be
Okay.
private trash.
Have you considered doing Metro cards for your tenants?
We've thought of that. I mean, we've been in conversations as a team, so we're trying to think about exactly the questions you're bringing up. How do we make this on a site that is so narrow that it doesn't really accommodate parking in any way, shape, or form? How do we make sure that people can get around, and what are the ways that people get around, you know? I think one of the big questions is, what is it that people use most? Is it bike, is it metro, is it buses? And that's, so as a part of the PUD process, we'll have to do a transportation study to get a sense of not only what is nearby, but how are neighbors using transit, if they live in the area, are they metroing, are they biking, to get a sense of what we anticipate people who live there will do because they live in a similar location. So that's all a part of the PUD process, and we'll be studying it closely.
Any more questions? Any questions from members of the community?
So this is in Commissioner Judd's single-member district, and since she's not present, I'll make a motion that ANC 6E prepare a letter of support for the hearing before the City Council for the Capital Vista disposition approval, noting that the Commission recommends public art in the public space adjacent to the building, that residents of the building not have the ability to apply for residential parking permits, and what was the other recommendation?
Zip card.
Metro.
Car
Trash
sharing.
removal.
And that the
Car
car
sharing.
sharing spaces be encouraged to facilitate the needs of the residents, and that trash removal be handled from which side?
Oh, it's 2nd Street.
From the 2nd Street side of the boulevard.
I'll second it. Any further discussion, commissioners? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Variance 5 to 0.
So that would go to Bill Middleton, the chair of the city council.
Okey-dokey, you're all set? Thank you for stopping in. You're welcome.
Oh, no. A number of different copies. And this should be.
Okay, public space application for 901 4th Street. That is the building that is under construction on 4th Street, which is the new home for the Bar Association. They're asking for the paving for the driveways, for their building, and for the alley that will allow trash trucks and other delivery services to get to the building. That's in my single-member district, and my community does not object to this, so I'd like to make a motion that we support the public space application for the curbs and driveway for 901 4th Street.
Second.
Anybody want to talk, discuss?
Which one is this marked down there?
That's the bar association where the
Oh,
trailer used to
okay.
be. There had to be an alley.
Yeah.
It's always been there. It has to remain, and they want to pave it so that their delivery and trucks can go through that. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, 5-0 there, Ms. Karen. Okay, and we'll move right along here. Is there someone here from 426Q? Nobody's here from 426? Okay. So I guess we'll table it.
I don't think they have, because we just got this last month. So probably somewhere before, it's not on.
Yeah, that's all I received. So, okay, so we're gonna table that because there's no one here to discuss it anyway.
Unless you have a concern about it, Kevin?
I don't know anything about it. I just saw this
Yeah, in fact, he called me, but I,
about 30 minutes ago. I haven't.
yeah.
But does it look like something that we need to object to? or-
I was,
Okay, no, I'm not trying to paint you in a corner, I'm just
Okay.
saying that if you
I
think
don't
that we
know.
need to take some action.
yeah, I really didn't read through it.
Okay.
Okay, it's tabled, we'll do it next month, and if it's too late, it's too late. Okay, next on the agenda is all of our ABRA applications. Alice, do you want to go through the list?
Sure, so let's start with Homewood Suites Convention Center at 465 New York Avenue Northwest. And they have applied for renewal of their liquor license. This is in Single-Member District 6E04. Michelle, do you have any comments?
They're totally fine. They're